Joining us now, Vice President of Mercury Public Affairs and former White House Deputy Director of Platforms, Megan Coyne. She's also served as the social media director for New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy's office. Also with us, Democratic strategist and MSNBC political analyst Basil Smikle, staff writer for The Atlantic and author of its newsletter Galaxy Brain, Charlie Wartzel, and Politico's senior national politics correspondent Adam Wrenn. Everybody, thank you for joining us. All right, Basil, I'm going to begin with you on this. What do you think?
You're right. It's provocative, it's ostentatious, and it meets the moment. You know, I think if you're looking for something for him to do that is intellectually stimulating, that's great. But what's better is that there's an emotional reaction, even if it's just a laugh, even if it's like that, that's crazy, because it got you to do something and react to politics in a way that you may not have done before. And it is true that it does hold up a mirror to what's happening on the right, you know, because you have, if you're saying to yourself, why the heck would he do that, Donald Trump? Why would he post that? Why would he do this? To be able to turn it back around and say, well, do you see how ridiculous this is? This is our politics today. Now, you're right. It is a campaign strategy. I don't know that this works a year from now. But for this moment, given all of the heavy stuff that we're dealing with, it does seem to be breaking through.
Adam, give me a little bit more of the background.
Yeah, so what's interesting, Katie, is that this actually came from former Governor Jerry Brown's own social media account, and the Newsom people took it over. And, you know, Newsom has been studying MAGA media, whether it's reading Breitbart or watching One America News for years now, and really sort of reverse engineered the AI, slop that goes to the top of the X algorithm. You know, this is Elon Musk's social media company, and the For You tab essentially prizes this kind of AI slop, these memes that we're seeing. And Newsom figured that out, and he's got a team of about 4 or 5 people who work on this for him. He sort of leads the effort, and they've seen a massive, inundation of followers, about 30 to 50,000 new followers a day since August 1st. And, you know, what's interesting is he actually can't take this account with him. So if he runs for president in 2028, he loses it on January 4th of 2027. And so it's fascinating to kind of see him really game the algorithm, figure out how to talk to both Republicans and Democrats in a way no other 2028 Democrat has.
Megan, you got a lot of attention for Phil Murphy's social media feed. I think the Times did a profile on you a few years back. What do you think, as somebody who has been in charge of this very arena before?
I think that Governor Newsom is absolutely showing us all a masterclass right now in how government social media should be functioning. It's funny, it's quick, it's culturally relevant, it's cutting through the noise, and it's landing. And it's sort of a win-win because it's energizing Democrats while really frustrating Republicans. They're sort of not sure how to react to someone meeting them where they are and copying their playbook. And Democrats really aren't used to someone standing up, calling Republicans out constantly and landing punch after punch after punch without flinching. And that's exactly what Governor Newsom's doing right now, and that's why it's just so exciting to see.
So, Charlie, he's gaining followers, obviously. We're seeing, as Adam pointed out, just a daily count of followers that's going up and up. It's obviously getting a lot of attention. It's on this show, they're talking about it on Fox. It's everywhere, at least today. How is it playing online, though? Beyond the extra follower count, what's the reaction online?
I think it's really just cheap attention, right? I feel like this isn't really, there is a strategy here, which is to, sort of parrot back this and make the people on Fox News look ridiculous and essentially get attention. But, in terms of like a political strategy, it feels kind of thin, right? It feels very, again, Trump's whole social media presence, his whole presidency, his whole self is very, ego-driven, egocentric, kind of, ridiculous. And this is just kind of aping that, right? This is done by somebody who clearly very much wants to be president. He very much wants the attention. And it has this kind of, cathartic bit to it. But a lot of people that I have seen online are also like, this is very, look at me, right? This isn't organizing. This isn't, really putting forth a message. This is just kind of, pointing and criticizing, and that's fine. But I think when you compare it to, another person whose social media strategy has been really in the conversation lately is Zohran Mamdani in New York in the mayoral race. And that social media strategy is different. It situates him in the city among the people he's trying to govern. And I think that there's a real comparison here. I think it's kind of thin, honestly.
I think that's something to talk about. I think you're right about that, because Donald Trump, I'm sure we were arguing about how thin this was back in 2015, 2016, or how ridiculous or how absurd or how unelectable or childish he seemed. But it was all also a part of who Donald Trump is. It was authentically him. He is this person that you see online. He is self-obsessed. He does talk very brashly. He is offensive, fly by his seat, reactionary. Gavin Newsom is not Donald Trump.
Right.
I mean, Gavin Newsom would probably say and happily say he is not Donald Trump. Zohran Mamdani is being his authentic self online, which is working for him. So is there a risk here? Gavin Newsom, it's funny, it's trolling.
Well, it's not a long-term strategy. I think, to your point, you used the term, I think it was culturally relevant.
Yeah.
It is in this moment, but it's not a long-term strategy to get your message out. I mean, I think it's just a moment where, in the midst of everything that we're dealing with, he's breaking through because we're talking about him. And that's important now. Now, can that be sustained?
No
I don't know.
Press is bad press?
Yes. And I mean, if the point is, Adam's point, it's look at me. Well, that is a lot of what politics is. It's look at me. Give me that moment, and then let me take you from here to there.
So how do you transition, Megan? Because, I mean, as Adam pointed out, he can't carry over this account. He's going to have to start again if he has a campaign, launches his campaign next year.
Yeah, you typically don't. You transition over to the next governor. The followers transition over. The content gets wiped. I think that Governor Newsom has built up his brand enough that losing this account won't be a huge setback. Since his name is getting out there, I imagine that this is translating over to his personal political account that he gets to keep with him. It's not like he's going to lose everything when he no longer has this account.
Yeah, but how do you use that the strategy that he's employing of this, making fun of Donald Trump, the trolling of Donald Trump, and also anybody who tries to come after him? He's been trolling Fox News, Dana Perino. He's been trolling Kid Rock. I mean, anybody who tries to come after him, he posts back just in the same way that Donald Trump does. How do you take that, though, and then say, this is satire, this is me trying to show you how ridiculous this is, but now listen to me be serious. Now listen to my policy.
Yeah, there's absolutely a way for him to do that. I think we saw this last week when he held his press conference on redistricting. He's moving forward with it. He's not all talk and not following it up with any action. And I'm sure that they'll continue to balance that, and it helps draw people in. So he is doing all of these crazy, ridiculous, fun things. It draws people in, and then they're going to see more of the serious from him. He's a very accomplished governor, so people are going to be seeing a lot more of that in their feeds.
So the people that are maybe seeing it, Adam, are they going to be beyond the Democrats? Is it going to be the folks the Democrats need? The Times had a great takeout today showing that voter registration for Democrats, and Basil, I'll get you on this, is plummeting. I mean, they're just hemorrhaging voters every single year. New registration for new voters. They're not coming out as Democratic. They're not ticking the Democratic box. So is this reaching those folks?
Yeah, what's interesting is I talked to a New Hampshire Democrat, Jim Demers, whose job it is with Stand Up New Hampshire to sort of bring some of these 2028 candidates to this early primary state. And he told me that in the context of redistricting, Newsom is really breaking through to Democratic primary voters there. They see him as a counterweight to Donald Trump. They see him as a Democrat who is fighting Trump. And this X account, I think, is of a piece with that. It's framing him as someone who is taking Trump head on. Two people in the arena. The White House is officially responding to it with their own memes. And so I think it's breaking through beyond just people who are super online. And, real early state primary voters are hearing of what Newsom's doing around redistricting. They like it. And the X account sort of dovetails with that in a way that does break through.
Basil?
No, I think that's right. And look, there were two things that I heard earlier in my career that I apply to this moment, and that question about where Democrats are in the registration. One, that every movement becomes an institution. And two, this is from my former Congressmember Charlie Rangel, who said that Harlem is not just a place, it's a state of mind. And I think that's where we are with the Democrats today. Number one, I think voters want someone to fight for them. It's not just it's not a brand in the way that it used to be, but they want to find something to be a part of and to connect to. And I think Gavin Newsom's doing a little bit of that.
It used to be the Democrats were the cool set. You know, for a long time, no, seriously.
That's right. That's
when
right.
you were a celebrity, you wanted to be a Democrat. Obama certainly made it cool. But even during the Bush years, there was a certain cachet you got with being a Democrat. But it seems to have been lost entirely over the past 5-10 years.
Plus, voters want somebody to fight for them, number one, and that's critical. But the movement to institution part is also critical because I got involved because I saw Jesse Jackson fighting, saying that the party doesn't represent people like him, that meant the people that look like me. And at some point, some of those folks got comfortable. And I think people saw that. They saw the party transition, and maybe the younger voter felt that there were too many people who felt too complacent to really fight for them. And that's an important thing that, you know, as a party leader, you're going to have to contend with.
All right. Everyone, besides Adam, you're sticking around. Adam, thank you so much for joining us at the top of the show today. I appreciate it. We hope to have you back.